And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway as we get ready for race number 8 of Season 6 of the NNSCRA Mobil1 Cup Series. Today, we're getting ready for the running of the Aaron's 312, and we are getting ready for a 19-lap event here today at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway, a track where these drivers can go 3, even 4 wide, not even worry about it, and put on a great show for the fans. Our Truck Series race ended in a photo finish yesterday. We're expecting no less of an exciting finish here today in the Mobil1 Cup Series event, as on the pole for today's race will be Mason Wood, who actually comes in second in points, so a good qualifying spot was probably key for this team as they're going to try and run down Sky Commons for the points lead today. Mason Wood going to start alongside of a driver who is going to be making his final Mobil1 Cup Series start, Dougie Shears. He's actually going to be replaced next week by his good buddy Jordan Hester, as that 20 team just does not seem to be producing the results that they want this season. They are 42nd in the standings right now, dead last out of all drivers that started the season at Daytona. So really, that 20 car looking for some new blood, and Jordan Hester, who is a former Snickers Cup Series chaser, remember all the way back in Season 1 when he drove the 11 for Joe Gibbs Racing. He ended up making the chase, was battling for the championship with Dougie Shears, who ended up winning that championship. So they figured being a Joe Gibbs Racing car would be a good fit. We'll see Jordan Hester next week at Dover. Rounding out the second row, you got Bob Jones, who's having an ideal rookie season, 8th in points, 3rd in overall rookie points. He is doing terrific in his rookie season there for that Eric McCloud Motorsports machine in that Toyota, and he's going to roll off from 3rd alongside of him, driver who's really not been well known in his NNSCRA career for doing well in the Mobil1 Cup Series. Trucks and Snickers he's really good in, but Mobil just seems to really be his Achilles heel, and that's Anthony McCurry. He qualifies today in 4th place, but he comes into today's race 37th in the standings. Matthew Daly, who's had 2 poles this season, seems to always qualify well up at the front, but just cannot seem to follow it up with good finishes at the end of the race. He comes into today's race 36th in points. He'll try and see if maybe he can start well and finish well here in today's event. And alongside of him, rounding out row number 3, is Ralph Mason, who comes in 6th in the standings. Ralph Mason was a 2-time winner last year, made the chase in the Mobil1 Cup Series. So far winless this season, but still running well in points and looking for his first win here of Season 6. Points as they come in today look just like this. Sky Commons, after tough luck last week at Coca-Cola, his points lead slimmed down quite a bit, and he only holds a 6-point advantage now over the pole sitter Mason Wood. Then it's a total of 14 back to Sean Galligan, 15 back to Stephen Pollard III, 16 back to Dylan Young, and 20 back to Ralph Mason. So only 20 points separating the top 6 in standings. Those 6 all eligible to be the points leader leaving here today. Maybe a few others that are just around 7th, 8th, maybe might be able to battle for the points lead, but you know, that's only if the top contenders in the standings get involved in a big one here and that one driver is able to survive. So the likelihood of that is not too great. However, we are going to have at least 6 drivers that are going to contend for being points leader heading into next week at Dover International Raceway. Time to get these cars rolling off, though. They'll complete a couple pace laps. When they do, we will get the green flag, and we will be back for that in just a moment. So we show you your starting lineup for today's race, the Aaron's 312. These drivers going to be driving around 3 and 4 wide with the question of when and where will the big one strike. Also, you can probably throw an if in there, too. These guys may be able to keep together for 19 laps. We'll find all that out in a moment, though, because here's your starting lineup. Said before during pre-race in the Truck Series event, this is not Daytona, this is Talladega Superspeedway. Completely different concept when it comes to the front straightaway. At Daytona, the middle of the tri-oval is where that start-finish line is, but here at Talladega, you get an extra few hundred feet down between the entrance, or the middle of the tri-oval, I should say, and the entrance of turn number 1. That was the difference between Emilio Navarrete winning yesterday's Truck Series race or finishing runner-up. Here we go. Will that be a difference maker today? We're going to find out. Green flag is in the air. We're underway. Mason Wood going to lead them into turn number 1 as we take a look at them coming into turn 1 with our gopher cam. Nice shot there of the 42 car field. And Mason Wood got a good jump, and Dougie Shears may be able to slide down right in behind him in the second position. He had the opportunity there, didn't really take it, which rather surprises me. Decided instead to stay up there on that high line. They're already getting racy, 3 wide back there. Well, we may have 3 wide for the lead. Dougie Shears sticks it down underneath Mason Wood, but here comes Matthew Daly even lower, and he's got help from fellow rookies Daniel Day and Joshua Michaels. So Matthew Daly with the sponsorship of Amp Energy on his Chevy Camaro today. He's going to go out to the lead. But for how long? Here comes Daniel Day and Joshua Michaels, the 2 drivers that just helped him get to the lead. Now we're going to battle him 3 wide for the lead, and leading the first lap was Matthew Daly in the 25. But here they come, 4 wide. Didn't take them long at all. Hayden Klein going to the bottom, and he's going to go to the lead. Wow, they are 4 wide, 3 rows back there, and they are really getting racy here. And this is when you start to wonder. They go a little bit overconfident sometimes, and one little false move can cause a big, big wreck. And tell you what, early on, they start to get really racy. Then it gets to the middle of the race, and then they start to back off a little bit and ride around rather calmly. Then you get to around 5 laps to go, and then they get back to this again. So we just got to make it here through this first part where they all start going nuts. And I got a weird lag there. I don't know why. Anyway, Charles Jackson now going to go to the inside. Carson Bechtold just barely led that lap. Seth Cole gets moved in the middle, and here comes the Austin Plant Machine, and someone got on the wall. Oh, I saw Bob Jones around the wall. Sky Comets just hit the wall head on, the points leader. I also saw Dylan Young going around there. Lots of drivers, lots of smoke there. Back in the turn 1 area, I'm almost certain, pretty certain, that was 2 separate wrecks taking place there. It may have been what happened like in our Truck Series race, where drivers tried to avoid the first wreck, couldn't quite do it, got in the apron and created a second wreck, but there was a huge amount of smoke back there. Several drivers involved, no doubt. As they come off of 4, you can see the impact it's had. There's only about 10 cars, 12 cars right there in that first pack coming off of turn 4. And Austin LaPlante's going to be the leader at the line over Charles Sanford. And then our Truck Series winner, Emilio Navarrete, has moved his way now up to the 3rd position. We got to look now at the tail end of the pack, see who was involved in this. Richard Johnson's involved, 13th in points. Hayden Klein, who was up front for a while, he's involved. Hayden Klein comes in 21st in points. His day is definitely done. His teammate, Jeffrey Finguy, involved as well there in the One Main Financial Toyota Camry. Try saying that 3 times fast. Tyson Broad, that rookie, not having a good run today. He's involved. Eric Burton's gotten a piece of it. He's done. Dylan Poteet, Wolfgang Mason. Oh, Mason Wood. So the top 2 in points have been involved then. Because I know for certain I saw Sky Commons go up and hit the wall. And there he is. He's on pit road. He went head on into the wall. Straight into the wall. Danny Wells is involved. There is Bob Jones, 8th in points. Danica Shirley, who comes in 14th in points. Former winner this season. She's involved. William Duncan's gotten into it. So has Joshua Michaels, Megan Atkins. There's Stephen Pollard III, 4th in points. I think he was involved. Ralph Mason's got damage to the front of his car, 6th in points. Daniel Day has got damage. Trying to look and see who else may have been damaged in this. See who dies for pit road. Is Silver Fox going to pit road? I think he is, and I think there's some damage to the front of our winner last week at Coca-Cola, James McCloud. I'm not sure. Adam Chambers is coming down pit road. So is Joshua Collard, right behind James Silverfox, our winner from Thornton. And everybody else is going to stay out. Aaron Williams Jr. is on pit road. He may have been involved. And I think I called Dylan Young involved in that wreck. Maybe I ended up seeing the Danny Wells machine. Those colors on both those cars are rather similar. Because I do see Dylan Young back there, and he's running here in this pack. Does not appear to be damaged, so maybe I made a wrong call there. But Austin LaPlante is the leader, and just like that, the big one has struck this early in today's Aaron's 312. We'll take a look at a replay of what happened. Well, I tried several different camera angles, but none of them really do it justice to be able to show us just exactly how this wreck started better than the helicopter view. Take a look at the orange car right there in the middle, up ahead of William Duncan. The orange and blue car of Bob Jones is the one I want us to be focusing on right now. You can see they were 4 wide, at least 6, 7 rows back here. So something like this was not going to go well. Someone was going to make some wrong move, and there it was. I think it was Jeffrey Finguy went up into Bob Jones, Hayden Klein, Joshua Michaels. They're involved. Daniel Day's held up on the high side. And there you see Joshua Collard and Mason Wood making contact. That's going to be the start, I think, of the second wreck. We'll get to that in a moment. As we look back here at this first wreck still, Dylan Pote, he got shoved by Danica Shirley. Ralph Mason, Matthew Daly got held up behind this wreck. And then that incident up ahead, we're going to document that now. Oh, man, there's Ralph Mason getting another piece of it. This was the initial wreck that actually brought the caution flag out. But I think it was something up there with Mason Wood and Joshua Collard that maybe triggered the other wreck, unless there was another incident that I didn't know about. Although I do know that Sky Commons did get clipped by somebody, so maybe that's the incident. Let's go up and start with the Sky Commons machine. Okay, so there's the initial wreck happening. There's Joshua Collard and Mason Wood getting together. Now watch here with the 38 of Sky Commons. Oh man, Mason Wood almost got airborne there with the impact in the wall. Sky tried coming back on the racetrack, and already Megan Atkins was there. So she ends up clipping the 38 up into the wall. There's the head-on hit I was talking about. William Duncan gets collected as well. And then you're just going to start seeing it happen from here. Well, we got to switch to a different camera angle, apparently. Oh, everybody just starts piling in. Everybody's sliding off the racetrack. Pollard the third, Richard Johnson, Tyson Broad, Chambers, Williams, Wolfgang Mason, Eric Burton, Jake Rogers gets involved as well. Boy, there were not many that were able to get through that incident. You know, that's just one thing about this racetrack, is a lot of drivers, instinctually, you see a driver slide up the racetrack, you automatically want to turn down the racetrack. But here at this racetrack, with the fact that the speeds are so high, oh man, Danica Shirley right into Tyson Broad. With the speeds being so high, you can turn down onto the apron. But it's very difficult then to keep your car on the apron. Your car wants to go back up the racetrack due to the way that the turns are built. And there's Richard Johnson up and on his side. How ironically, he's up and on top of the hood of the ride he drove last season. That's irony for you. And there it all is, folks. Man, oh man. Pile up after pile up here through turns 1 and 2. Started with Finguy. Oh, Finguy is going to nail Wolfgang Mason. So make that Jeffrey Finguy, who started that first wreck, he now going to get a hard hit into the 82. And as I look at this, folks, I am correct in saying that first, second, fourth, sixth, and 8th in the standings all were involved in this incident, or these incidents that just took place. This is going to really shake the point standings up quite a bit, depending on what happens with the other drivers who were able to survive and get through that incident. Let's head back to the restart. Car is currently on the back straightaway. Lights are out top. The pace car will go back to green on lap 8 of 19. That should give us a total of, I believe, 11 laps to go. Am I correct in that? No, 12 laps to go. We'll have 12 laps to go when the green flag does come back out. Austin LaPlante is currently the leader. Second is Charles Samper, who is actually 7th in points, and we told you a lot of drivers that are running well in the point standings that were involved could easily be easy pickings for these other drivers who are running well in the standings and are surviving so far. And Samper could be one of them. Season second, Emilio Navarrete, our Truck Series winner, currently in 3rd place. And don't forget, Navarrete comes in 15th in points, so he can move inside the top 10 today. Charles Jackson, he's in 4th. 5th place is James Quals. Tryphon Reed, who we've actually received word is making his final start. We'll get to that in a moment. He's 6th. 7th is Carson Bechtold. Then Sean Galligan in 8th. He's 3rd in points, so he could be the contender for the new points leader. Seth Cole's in 9th, and 10th is Kellen Wise. George Rowe currently runs in 11th. 12th, Dylan Young. 13th, Anthony McCurry. 14th, Dougie Shears. 15th, Sean Henley. Rest of the top 20 are Trent Dunham, Carson Gum, James McCloud, Matthew Daly, and Jake Rogers. 21st, Jake Silverfox, Ralph Mason 22nd, and Joshua Collard 23rd. That's it. 23 cars on the lead lap on the racetrack. Everybody else is out. I don't think I even need to go through the DNF list because basically you're on the track or you're out of the race. It's one of those two. Nobody is a lap down. Everybody is still on the lead lap. This is definitely broken this race wide open, and according to my calculations, that means 19 drivers retired within the first 5 laps of this race. A big one, striking early and taking out a lot of top contenders. Now, let's talk about some of the guys who are in this field still that could contend for the points lead or spots inside the top 10 in points. Sean Galligan, talked about him back there just inside the top 15, right there in the powder blue Toyota, now on the high side there with George Roque. Sean Galligan comes into this race 14 points back from Sky Commons. Now we do have to find out where Sky Commons officially ended in this race. He finished in the 34th position. Mason Wood finished in 32nd. Right now, with 34th place being where Sky Commons finished this race, in order for Sean Galligan to be the points leader, he would have to finish 20th or better. And right now, he is currently up inside the top 10. So Sean Galligan could be the new points leader heading into next week's race. Don't forget, he's the defending Mobil1 Cup Series champ. So this could be big for Sean Galligan in that 64 team. Be the first time that Sean Galligan was the points leader since his win at the beginning of the season at Daytona. And I'll tell you what, Austin LaPlante, he's doing a good job of defensive driving right now. It's very difficult with a wide racetrack like Talladega to be able to hold off 3 lines of racing coming at you. But LaPlante's been doing a yeoman's job of doing just that. He's got Kellen Wise right behind him. Kellen Wise really started off the season dismally. It was not a good start to the season at all for the 10 team. But now Kellen Wise has peaked into the top 10 in points, currently 9th in standings and running very well here today. There's Dylan Young. You can see that teal green car back there. That is the new, I think it's Qualcomm is the sponsorship on that car today. Maybe I mispronounced that. It's something like that, but nonetheless, I think I did say that right, actually, which surprises me. Very rarely I get things right. It was Qualcomm. Hey, big round of applause to me. George Roque, though, going to be the leader in the 33. Of course, he ended up replacing Jake Williams. And speaking of replacing, let's actually talk a little bit about Tryfon Reed making his final start in the Mobil1 Cup Series. Let you know, folks, you want to follow what's going on in the NNSCRA on Twitter, head on over there and subscribe to NNSCRA Sports 52 because a lot of stuff happens over there, a lot of announcements, paint scheme revelations, all sorts of stuff. And there was a thing on Twitter after Tryfon Reed announced he was leaving the Mobil1 Cup Series. I posted on Twitter for people to be able to sign up for that ride, and we have received word that Isaac Canepa, I believe I'm saying that correctly, or is it Capina? I think it's Capina, actually. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. I'm getting the N and the P reversed several times. I believe it's either Canepa or Canepa. He will be making his rookie debut in the NNSCRA Mobil1 Cup Series, driving the 12 next week at Dover. We've also got word about Tryfon Reed's number 13 over in the Snickers Cup Series. Not sure if I should really reveal that announcement yet, or if I should wait until the Snickers Cup Series race here tomorrow. I think I'm gonna wait. Anyway, Carson Bechtold now out in front, and Carson's another driver that's actually doing really well. Kind of doing the same kind of thing that Kellen Wise has done this season. He's 11th in the point standings right now, 5th in rookie points, and Carson is looking pretty doggone racy at the moment. Tryfon Reed right directly behind him. There's a couple other guys back there we haven't talked about that are starting to work their way up here to the front. How about Trent Dunham there in the 8? Having a great run, currently top 20 in points. He's in the 20th position as we speak. Carson Gum is back there having a great run. Anthony McCurry's back at the front. Seth Cole back there too. So we still have a lot of contenders that are in this thing that may be able to pull a win out. And Carson Bechtold maybe just went to the Austin LaPlante School of Defensive Driving because he's doing exactly what the 71 did when he was out in front. And that's holding off every line of traffic and keeping his car in the lead. Meanwhile, there's a lot of stragglers back there that are not up here at the front of the field. And is there? Oh, wow, I was just looking. I was like, is that a car that I haven't talked about yet? And it was. Sean Henley, 69, is actually up here running inside this lead pack. Henley's been having a somewhat dismal season. He's 26th in the points. Certainly would love to do a lot better, would Henley. And as I recall, Henley did really well in the Truck Series race here yesterday, so Sean may be trying to ride some momentum there as he is at the tail end of this pack. It really would be a shame for these drivers who are running so well right now to end up causing a second big one and wreck out of this race because they are really doing a good job of racing and keeping it clean. For them to end their day on a stupid mistake really would be a heartbreak. And there's another driver back there I haven't talked about yet today. That is James Quals, 16th in the point standings. He's been the silent type this season too. James Quals in that 70. He could be a contender up here in a moment. Lots of drivers in this field that would love to be able to win. For a majority of them, it would be the first time they've been to victory lane in a Mobil1 Cup Series event this season. The only ones I'm seeing back there that are former winners this season already are Sean Galligan, and I think there was one other back there. Or maybe not. Maybe it's only Galligan. I think it is, actually. I don't think anybody else back here has actually won a race yet this season in a Mobil1 Cup Series event. So everybody may be ganging up on Galligan to be able to get their first win of the season. Here comes Austin LaPlante, though. I'll tell you what, seems like the two best cars of the day so far in this pack are Austin LaPlante and Carson Bechtold. And I also just thought of something. We are getting close here. Well, actually, when we hit the stripe, we'll have a total of 4 to go. And these drivers made no pit stops under that caution flag. We know in the Truck Series race that they could not make it the full 19 laps without making at least one pit stop. So how far are these guys going to stretch it before they finally decide they are going to come down pit road? Are any of them going to try and pull a James McCloud or an Andy Timmons from last week at Coca-Cola and try and stretch it all the way? I don't know if they can do that, but it'll be interesting to see. We're going to have a total of 3 to go when they hit the stripe this time. Will anybody try pitting with 3 laps to go? Galligan now the leader, trying to go 2 for 2 in restrictor plate starts. Well, actually, no, it'll be 2 for 3 because Coca-Cola, I guess, is technically a restrictor plate track, even though it's not completely the same fundamentals as Daytona or Talladega, and they will come down and receive the 3 laps to go. Still, nobody going to be coming down pit road. It'd be really weird if everybody ran out of fuel. That would really be a weird race. We had some slower damaged race cars at the end of this pack before, and there's one of them, Ralph Mason, who actually is about to be caught. He's in turn 3. The field's in the middle of the back straightaway. They may end up catching the Ralph Mason machine. He could play a big factor into who's going to win this race. Someone better get on the radio communications, tell Ralph Mason the field is coming, and they are coming fast. All eyes are gonna be on the number 99 Ford out of Roush Fenway Racing tomorrow, but today they're on the 99 Toyota Camry of Emilio Navarrete, who picks up the win. What an unbelievable victory for Navarrete, and second time in 2 days he's been put in that situation and risen to the call. Wow. And Emilio Navarrete came in 15th in the point standings too, so what a perfect time when so many drivers came in running well in the top 15 and were involved in that wreck early on to be able to capitalize and pick up the most points possible here today at Talladega. Navarrete wins today's race, official top 10. Austin LaPlante misses out by 4/100ths of a second. Dylan Young, who we've actually received word is now the new Mobil1 Cup Series points leader. He will finish today in third, so congrats to Dylan Young. First time he's been the points leader this season in Mobil1 Cup Series. James Quals, great top 5 for him. He could move inside the top 10 in points after today, as he came in 16th in the standings. He gets 4th, and Anthony McCrory finally gets a good finish in Mobil1 Cup Series competition. He gets 5th place. Seth Cole, he's going to get 6th. George Roque, great run for him in 7th. Carson Bechtold, who was one of the 2 most dominant cars of the day, he'll get 8th. Carson Gum, great run for the 77. He'll get 9th, and in 10th was Charles Sanford, who came in 7th in the points. He could definitely move up in the standings here today, too. He could probably be up as high as maybe 3rd in points when we leave here today. Man, oh man, oh man. Lots of drivers did not do well today, but lots of drivers did do well. Guess what? I can smell it. It's a point shake-up heading into next week at Dover. However, we are not done with Talladega. Talladega is by no means done with us. We still got Snickers Cup Series racing coming your way. Hope you'll tune in for that. Emilio Navarrete trying to become the first driver ever to sweep all 3 events in a single race weekend. Can he do it tomorrow? Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Helps me out a lot. Here comes your official finisher results, overall point standings, and rookie point standings heading into next week's race at the Monster Mile Dover International Raceway. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.